What is up, everybody? I'm another video, man. Tearing into the rise of Bronx drill. OGZs versus YGZs versus SevSide by Trap Fiend. So this video just looked interesting. Popped up in my recommended. So yeah, we're gonna watch it. You know what I'm saying? By Trap Fiend. You know what I'm saying? Listen to it.
First, the search for the gunman who killed a teenager in the Bronx. Police believe the victim, 13-year-old Jerian Elliott, was not an innocent bystander and could have been targeted. The shooting happened this afternoon on East 187th Street in the Bronx. Elliott was shot several times in the chest.
Surveillance shows Jerian Elliott in red pants. Shots zing through the air. Within seconds, he scrambles inside a restaurant. A crowd surrounds him. Police say he got shot in the ankle and chest.
Another weekend of deadly gun violence in New York City. 4 teenagers were shot in separate incidents. 3 of them died.
Around 11:30 Sunday night by the corner of East 178th Street and Webster Avenue in the Bronx, police say 2 men pulled scooters up next to a cab Medrano was taking to a recording studio. They then shot him in his head and chest, killing him.
Eye-opening. Gun violence here in the Bronx is at a level we have not seen in decades.
Anything mentioned in the story that has been proven in the court of law is simply just speculation and should be treated as such. Okay. So you got federal information is what you're saying. Rest in peace to those that lost their lives. Okay.
Alright, so what's up, everybody? We gotta talk about the Bronx drill scene that's been blowing up recently. Over the last few years, Brooklyn has had all the attention.
Yeah, I can't lie. New York music is terrible, bro. Bro, I'm gonna just keep it a stack, bro. New York music is I can't. The only New York rappers I can listen to are what's the name, A Boogie and Lil TJ. Bro, I can't listen to no other New York rapper, bro. Can't.
In the drill rap scene, but in 2021, it seems that the Bronx is taking that title. An artist by the name of K Flock has the torch for the Bronx right now after he just inked a record deal, which is rumored to have been worth over $1 million, and he remixed his hottest song, Being Honest, with a feature from G Herbo. Ironically, that song, Being Honest, was actually made as a response to a challenge started by a Brooklyn rapper named Siggy Black over the beat he used for his song Dishonest. Similar to how Brooklyn introduced the US to UK beats, the Bronx is bringing their own twist by using sampled beats with a New York UK twist to them. In fact, just over a week ago at the time of this recording, B-Thang, one of K Flock's rivals and his blood cousin, dropped a song in Who I Smoke fashion called Talk Facts, which he samples the 2011 hit Need Your Love, in which he disses almost every dead op and every other hood in the Bronx. A YouTuber by the name of We Drill Crazy dropped a video in which he breaks down the lyrics and showcases each name drop, and it's damn near a different name in each bar. I'll link his video below so you can check it out. The Bronx has always been known as one of the wildest boroughs in the city. Charlemagne the God always says the craziest people come from the Bronx and all of Florida, and that for the most part is true. The Bronx is no stranger to gangs, drugs, and violence. During the Prohibition era, the Bronx was home base for several mafia members, including Dutch Schultz, who was rumored to have buried over $150 million worth of diamonds, gold, and cash somewhere in the borough before he was gunned down in 1935, but the treasure has never been found. It was a hub for organized crime up until the late 90s when there was a large migration of Africans and Latinos, which caused a lot of the European.
My boy, I can tell you reading this off a script, cause I cannot lie. I can tell you reading this exactly off of script.
Settlers to move elsewhere. In the 70s and 80s, East 187th Street, now known as SevSide, which is K Flock's hood, was primarily controlled by the Italian mafia. In the 90s, when the blacks and Hispanics started to move in, it pushed a lot of the mobsters out east into Morris Park. By the early 2000s, SevSide was primarily ran by a blood set called the East Homicide Brims. After a ton of internal and external beefs over the span of a decade, 700 DOA was birthed. SevSide is now made up of mainly Mac Balla Brims, Sex Money Murda, and they're clicked up with the Rollin' 80s Crips from East 180th Street, also known as Rayway. If you head 3 miles south from the Sev, you'll end up on Cortlandt Ave, which is OG's territory. Cortlandt Ave in the South Bronx is a hood made up of 3 projects: the Melrose Houses, Jackson Houses, and Morrisania Air Rights, also known as Vietnam. Cortlandt Ave has always been a wild hood. Since the 80s, drugs, gangs, and violence have been a prominent issue. In 2003, a new gang in the Bronx was formed called the Young Gunners. The OGs and the YGs were initially one gang in the beginning. The YG started in 2 projects, the Mott Haven Houses and the Patterson Houses. When it was created, its other main hoods were Cortlandt, Highbridge, River Park Towers or RPT, which is where D-Thang is from, and Jackson Ave. Cortlandt was called the Young Gunners from Cortlandt, or YGFC.
Bro, this is a lot of information coming to me at once, bro. I can't can't dissect all the information, bro. It's too much coming at once, bro. It's too much.
At some point, the YG's leader, Juther Juhef Perez, crossed one of the leaders from Cortland, so YGFC left the YGs and changed their name to OGFC, which they later shortened to GFC, or God's Favorite Children, or just the OGs, original goons. When they left, the YGs started to beef with a lot of other hoods. Similar to SevSide, Cortland had a lot of internal and external conflicts over the years, including a RICO sweep in 2009 called Operation Rotten Apple that led to the arrest of 53 gang members.
Jesus.
The OGs from Cortland's biggest ops are still the YGs. As of right now, Cortland...
He's going so fast. United States charges 53 members of Bronx heroin and crack cocaine trafficking rings. Coordinated multi-agency law enforcement striking an Operation Rotten Apple shuts down vast drug operations in 2 public housing projects in the Bronx. That's crazy.
Members. The OGs from Cortland's biggest ops are still the YGs. As of right now, Cortland is clicked up with High Bridge and the Sugar Hill OYs. Some notable rappers coming from the OG side are Shaw EK, B Love, and CJ Goon. The YGs, on the other hand, are beefing with almost every other set in the borough and are one of the most hated gangs in the whole city. These 3 sets have been at each other's necks for a long time now, but things really started to boil over in July of this year, which led to 3 teens losing their lives in the same week. On Thursday, July 7, 2021, at around 11:35 p.m., Tyquil Doherty, also known as Ty Swish, was gunned down in front of his apartment building on East 182nd Street in the Bronx. The 19-year-old had been shot in the head in the lobby of his Bronx apartment building, where he ran outside before he collapsed. A family member said that her 2 children found Ty Swish's unconscious body sprawled out on the ground with a single bullet wound in his eye. He was then rushed to St. Barnabas Hospital, where he unfortunately succumbed to his injuries. A witness described the shooter saying he fled in a dark-colored 4-door sedan, but no other information has been discovered. Ty was described as a good kid by his family and neighbors, but he was a gang member pushing sex money murder, and he was unfortunately caught lacking. It would only take 4 days for his side to get their get back, though.
Police believe the victim, 13-year-old Jerian Elliott, was not an innocent bystander and could have been targeted.
Surveillance shows Jerian Elliott in red pants. Shots zing through the air. Within seconds, he scrambles inside a restaurant. A crowd surrounds him. Police say he got shot in the ankle and chest.
On Sunday, July 11th, 2021, at around 3 p.m., Jerian Elliott, also known as J-Rip, a 13-year-old member of the Rollin' 80s Crips, was walking down East 187th Street with a friend.
13, you're in like 7th grade. What are you, like...
Surveillance footage would capture the 2 boys walking in front of Angel's Cafe when J-Rip's friend would take off running. A black sedan had come to a stop in front of the cafe.
You're telling me, bro, he had ops hit 13, bro? Bro, the only ops I had at 13 was teachers, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, bro.
And a man got out and opened fire on the teens. He was seen crawling into the cafe and was brought to the hospital shortly after, but unfortunately he didn't make it. At only 13, he had already been arrested 8 times, and investigators say he was at the scene of the crime when 19-year-old Ty Swish was killed.
Okay.
Although
arrested 8 times at 13 is crazy.
It isn't believed he was the shooter. At the end of September, a 16-year-old that goes by the name Dolo G's was picked up as J-Rip's alleged killer, but there isn't much public information surrounding this because he's still a juvenile. Less than 8 hours after J-Rip was killed, another teen would meet a tragic end in a retaliation hit.
Around 11:30 Sunday night by the corner of East 178th Street and Webster Avenue in the Bronx, police say 2 men pulled scooters up next to a cab Medrano was taking to a recording studio. They then shot him in his head and chest, killing him.
16-year-old Ramon Gil Medrano, a rapper that went by the name Raw G's and had ties to the 800 YGs, got into an Uber on his way to hang out with a friend. Shortly after he was picked up, 2 men on a scooter pulled up alongside the car and opened fire, hitting Raw G's in the head 3 times before speeding off. The tragic video went viral on social media as the Uber driver's dash cam captured the entire incident. The driver can be seen flinching as the shots go off, and he seemingly utters the words, "Night night, young man," as he looks back at the boy's lifeless body. Investigators believe that Rodgers was also at the scene of J-Rip's murder, and he was targeted because
What happened again? Run that back.
178th Street and Webster Avenue in the Bronx. Police say 2 men pulled scooters up next to a cab Medrano was taking to a recording studio. They then shot him in his head and chest, killing him.
16-year-old Ramon Gil Medrano, a rapper that went by the name Raw G's and had ties to the 800 YGs, got into an Uber on his way to hang out with a friend. Shortly after he was picked up, 2 men on a scooter pulled up alongside the car and opened fire, hitting Raw G's in the head 3 times.
Telling me they pulling up on scooters to do hits, bro? They moving devious, bro. What?
Times before speeding off. The tragic video went viral on social media as the Uber driver's dash cam captured the entire incident. The driver can be seen flinching as the shots go off, and he seemingly utters the words, "Night night, young man," as he looks back at the boy's lifeless body. Investigators believe that Rajiz was also at the scene of J. Rip's murder, and he was targeted because he quickly took to social media to mock J. Rip just hours before he himself lost his life. A year prior to his passing, Rajiz had survived a shooting that had almost taken his life. He was in the hospital in critical condition for several days but finally pulled through. His mother said that the shooting caused him to be more cautious and walk the straight and narrow, but in the 3 months before his passing, he'd been arrested 3 times and had an active warrant for a carjacking.
Bro, that was your sign to get out. Get out. You survived a shooting. But just barely. You were in critical condition. You survived. And you, like,
15 and 16-year-old were identified as the boys on the scooter and arrested for the murder, but again, there isn't much public information because of their age. In August of 2021, K Flock dropped a song called Is You Ready? In the opening verse, he says,
bro, I do not like them New York beats, bro. I do not, bro. Like this beat. I do not like those beats, bro. I don't.
Referencing one of the greatest movies ever made, Paid in Full. This was a subliminal diss towards his cousin D-Thang, because if you remember in the movie, Ice was Sonny's uncle who had set him up to get kidnapped and killed. D-Thang and K-Flock had always been good, even though they were from rival gangs, but the diss caused a rip that led to D-Thang taking Instagram Live to send an eerie subliminal where he says,
"He ain't related to me. Like Ice did this Sonny. Can't wait to see Auntie now."
The beef took the life of another teen on September 30th. 16-year-old Nasiah Sanchez, also known as Nasrullah, a Rollin' 80s Crip and one of K-Flock's affiliates, was shot and killed after 2 men jumped out of a gray Honda Accord and shot him in the head and chest in broad daylight on East 187th Street near Prospect Avenue. Nasrullah had been arrested 18 times, most recently on September 5th for felony gun possession.
18 times at 16, bro? What?
Events are truly mind-blowing when you realize that these kids are all just teens. Most of them go to the same high school, so you can find videos all over the internet of them fighting in school and actually going live to diss their ops in class. It makes it more disturbing that with the rise of social media, many of these killings are broadcasted on the internet for everyone to see. Some of the rappers are actually really talented and they make good music, but they literally commit crimes and then admit to them in their songs. If you ever want to get caught up on what's going on in the Bronx streets, just listen to the latest drill song and you can hear all about it. It's only a matter of time before things escalate and we see these hoods going down for RICO cases, and that's if they can even stay alive long enough to make it to 18 to even get arrested. They're literally gambling with their lives daily. People like K-Flock, D-Thang, and the other talented artists need to realize that they have a lot of eyes on them right now and need to get out of the hood ASAP because they have a golden opportunity in front of them. We'll just have to wait and see how this one plays out. Let me know what you guys want to see in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.
Hey, bro, W vid. What was your name again? Trap Fiend? W video, my boy. You know what I'm saying? W video. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, bro, that's gonna be the end of this video. You know what I'm saying? Like, comment, subscribe, and we out, bro.